Thank you for clicking this link to learn how to install our beautiful, enduring, and revolutionary products from H Window Company. This is how H Window will package windows and doors for shipping from the factory to your location. Typically, 2 to 3 items will be securely fastened together on heavy-duty 32-inch shipping pallets. A detailed packing slip accompanies the shipment, which identifies window item number, manufactured window dimension, rough opening dimension, and location within the structure if provided in advance. Let's get started. In this video, we will show you how to install an operable awning window in a typical exterior 2x6-inch stud wall. While this video serves as a valuable guide, we recommend consulting your local code requirements for precise installation procedures for your regional building codes. These are the tools and supplies you'll need for a successful installation. Inspect the rough opening to ensure it is free of exposed nails or staples. Make sure the opening is level, plumb, and square. Measure to be sure the rough opening is 3/4 to 1 inch larger than the window's width and height, allowing between 3/8 and 1/2 inch as a shim space on each side of the window. When it comes to preparing the house wrap for rough openings, there are various common practices amongst builders and regions. In this instance, the house wrap is cut flush with the rough opening for a high wind environment installation by applying flashing material on the sill plate and fully up both jack studs. If you intend to apply the flashing only on the sill plate and partially up the jack studs, it's recommended to trim the wrap a few inches shorter than the opening and fold into the opening and staple. Before installing the flashing material, make sure the rough opening is dry and clean. In this video, we're using 9-inch flashing material for this 2x6 wall. The flashing material has a backing paper in 2 sections for easy installation. The wider portion will go to the interior of the opening, and the narrow portion will extend towards the exterior. Lay out the whole flashing sheet straight within the opening. Remove a few inches of the wide backing paper and align it in the corner. Firmly press the material along the jack studs and tightly into the corner. Keeping it in line with the sill plate, continue pulling back the backing paper while firmly pressing the material down. Make sure the flashing sits flat on the sill plate without any wrinkles or bubbles. Apply firm pressure to ensure the adhesive bonds tightly to the sill plate and the jack studs. Remove the narrow backing paper fully. Firmly grab the corners and stretch the flashing onto the exterior of the opening. Once applied, use a J-roller to firmly bond the adhesive to the opening. In most installations, the opening is ready for the window at this point. If extra protection is wanted for high wind environments, you can choose to flash the jack studs if you desire. To flash the jack studs, measure and cut the flashing material 4 inches longer than the opening. Align the flashing parallel with the jack studs and remove the wide backing paper to install flush with the head, working down while firmly pressing onto the jack studs. At the bottom, overlap the flashing tightly into the corner on the sill plate. Roll the flashing onto the opening. Remove the narrow backing paper fully and use a utility knife to cut the narrow overhanging flashing at the corner at a 45-degree angle, folding it onto the exterior of the opening. Roll the flashing to ensure a tight bond to the house wrap. At the head, make angled cuts on the corners of the building wrap. Lift the building wrap and temporarily secure it with masking tape. The opening has been fully flashed and we are ready to add shims. Never install the window directly onto the sill plate without using shims. Use only non-absorbing shims on the sill plate. Do not use wood shims. Place 3/8 to 1/2 inch shims near the outside edges of the sill plate. Use a level to determine if additional shims are needed for rough leveling. Apply silicone to each shim to hold them in place prior to installing the window. When installing larger operable windows that have centrally mounted screw holes on the sill, it is crucial to use just enough shims to fill the gap between the sill plate and the window frame. Inadequate shimming combined with over-tightening the screws in the middle of the sill can potentially lead to future operational issues with the window. When manually handling windows and doors, it is essential to determine the required number of people for safe lifting and movement on the job site. As a general guideline to estimate total weight, use 10 pounds per square foot for triple pane windows, 8 pounds per square foot for double pane windows. It is always better to have too many people versus not enough. Remove the window from its shipping pallet and inspect it for damage. check the window's identification number and measure the window to verify its placement in the building. Each window installation kit contains all required hardware for a proper installation. This includes appropriate number T25, 3-inch screws, wooden plugs, screen frame caps, and positioning fin foam corner pads. Begin by removing the existing screen by disengaging the mounting clips and set aside in a protected location. Using pliers, remove the screen frame plugs from the window jambs to expose the pre-drilled mounted holes used to secure the window into the opening. Before installing the window into the opening, ensure that all positioning fins are fully seated in the grooves within the frame while extending them outward for easy installation. With care, position the window onto the sill plate shims. Utilize the exposed positioning fins to properly situate the window unit within the installation plane. The positioning fins should make full contact with the sheathing material. Do not fasten the positioning fins to the sheathing at this time. Use a small pry bar to center the window within the rough opening. While holding the window unit securely, check the jambs, head, and sill are level and plumb. Once the window unit is in its final position, shim behind the pre-drilled mounting holes to fill any gaps between the window frame and the jack studs. Using a T25 bit and impact driver, fasten the provided 3-inch screws through the window frame and the shims into the jack studs. Repeat this process for the remaining mounting holes in the window frame, while checking level before moving on to the next hole. On operable windows, ensure the exterior reveal space is uniform and consistent between the sash and the frame. On the interior, check the operation of the sash. Ensure the sash is contacting the weather stripping along its entire perimeter when in the closed but unlocked position. The window can be adjusted for proper alignment by increasing or decreasing the shim sizes and by tightening or loosening the opposing mounting screws. Over-shimming or over-tightening may cause the frame to bend or bow. Once the window is level, plumb, square, and operates without any issues, nail or staple the positioning fins to the sheathing. Then apply the foam corner pads to seal the positioning fins at the corners of the window. Apply silicone on top of the foam pad and the aluminum window frame. At the jambs, install flashing tape along the length of the jamb extending above the head and below the sill flashing. Ensure the flashing tape is in contact with the aluminum window frame. Use a J-roller to make a tight bond. At the head, install the flashing tape over the top drip cap positioning fin while overlapping both jamb flashings just installed. With firm pressure, use a J-roller to make a tight bond. Unfold the house wrap over the head's flashing tape. At the cut corners of the house wrap, use the applicable house wrap tape to completely seal any cuts in the house wrap. Never apply flashing tape over the sill. Keeping it open allows water to properly drain. For optimal performance and protection against air and water infiltration, it is crucial to utilize low-expansion spray foam exclusively when sealing windows. When applying the foam, insert the nozzle deeply within the opening to guarantee the material fills gaps from the exterior to the interior completely. Should the foam expand beyond the window, allow it to harden fully before removing any excess material. Install the wood mounting plugs over the holes or the screen mounting caps for windows with insect screens. At the project's completion, remove any stickers or protective film, clean the glass, and clip on the insect screens. H-Window products are sought after by architects, builders, and building owners. They demand durability, robust construction, smooth operation, and superior performance. For more information, visit hwindow.com. Beautiful, enduring, revolutionary. H-Window.